Hello and welcome to another Overwatch VOD review. My name is Scorch24 and today we're going to be taking a look at some Mercy and Moira gameplay down in Silver. This review was submitted through Reddit and comment was that it's a very close match. I won't spoil the ending, but maybe there's some things that we can work on. So we're going to be observing Sparkles on the Mercy here on the first half. In the second half we're going to move over to Moira. Okay, out of the gate, that's pretty rough. Alright. So I won't say much about that initial start. It was just a mixture of bad luck and just bad timing. We're going to get into more detailed discussions about when to use certain abilities for Mercy, a little bit more about the mobility, target prioritization for healing, and then, you know, when to pull out your gun. So at the moment, we're just waiting for something to happen, which is sometimes all you can do. This is not a time to be pulling out your gun. In those cases, even it's better just to keep your healing beam on a target with critical. You want to kind of focus any DPS over tanks, but if like the tank is about to die, then obviously focus your tank a little bit more. Okay, so we're splitting up with our team. We're gonna focus on pocketing the Pharah, hoping that she gets some picks here. Be a little bit more reactive to the healing. When you get to higher ranks, even having that little bit of health gone could possibly get your DPS that you're pocketing killed. So just make sure that they're topped off at all times as possible, and then when they're not taking damage, definitely damage boost like you are. So this is really good. Okay. Luckily they did not touch point. And you guys took first point here pretty easily, so there's not much to comment on at the moment. Great damage boosts. No, good job on your Pharah for being aggressive, taking this forward position. This will allow your team to move up, move the cart pretty quickly. Great reaction on your Pharah. I'm sure that was communicated. At least I hope it's communicated. Good patience.
This is not your time. Thanks for the stop now. My servants never die. I remember the truth.
Yeah, I have no issues here. Those were 2 clean stages in a row. Now, I don't mind that you're pocketing the Pharah too much. If that's the direction the team wants to go, then great. That's fine. But there is a way for you as a Mercy player to be pocketing a DPS at the same time as, you know, staying around the rest of your team. Good res. Don't want to stay in this corner for too long. Okay. We are missing some Mercy techs, which I will go over in a few seconds. Let's do this now. There's 2 really important techs that you need to get used to a little bit more that I wasn't seeing even on the first 2 points. The first one is just Mercy's basic Guardian Angel. When you need to reposition yourself, so let's say you're in that corner on Dorado, and you know the enemy team is, let's say the enemy, that's the enemy, right? Enemy dude's right there. and you're in a bad spot. And you want to get around that corner there to provide yourself both cover and because that's where your other support is over there. So while you're healing this person, or if you're farther away you can't heal them, you can jump towards them and then press space immediately as you get close to them. This way, it provides you with an additional boost to the backside of that character, especially when they're a tank. You'll be able to, you know, give them healing, they'll be able to take damage for you, and you can just get out a lot safer than what you're doing. What we saw just there when you Guardian Angel to the Orisa, and this includes when they die. So even if the Orisa is dead, even if the person's dead, you can still perform that ability. So keep that in mind when you're moving about, so you can get behind cover and just be in general a lot safer. Now the second thing that I want you to learn, which will advance your gameplay tenfold, it's called the Mercy Super Jump. Now a lot of people at lower ranks don't know this, but if you press your crouch and your Guardian Angel button, which for me is my left control and left shift, it's all default, at the same time you'll perform this ground level Guardian Angel. So see how my body kind of scoops downward? That means I know I hit it successfully. And then at the end there was this little uptick, and that's where you're going to press space. And I'm able to elevate myself. This is really good to help get yourself out of like the middle of the fight and into the air, because this will take either the enemy's going to have to follow you upwards and ignore this player, whoever that might be, or they're just going to ignore you and go after this player, and it gives you a couple extra seconds to find that next space of cover. There we go. So practice that. This will help kind of get you a little bit better, and then use your Guardian Angel more frequently to just move in general. Walking as Mercy is not ideal because she's just slow, and even though her hitbox is kind of hard, it's small, walking is probably the worst thing for you. Instead, just constantly float around, find areas of high ground, and if you can't, use the Mercy Super Jump ability to get yourself up to higher ground. So good, we're getting that high cover. We could jump down to our tank here to heal up our Orisa. We don't always have to just be pocketing the Pharah. Just be careful when you walk out from around a corner like that. If they were focusing a lot of their damage into that one spot, you probably would have died. Luckily that was not the case. Very risky res, and a very risky ult. So it was lucky that you got that off. I probably would have waited until either your own personal healing healed you up a little bit more, or your Ana was able to heal you, because if you had used your ultimate and then died, you would have wasted your ultimate. And I would rather you have died with your ultimate and come back with into the next fight with it, versus losing it entirely and dying. So here, they just have respawn advantage at the moment, so it's there's not much you could have done except if one of your teammates were able to clutch. Careful of pathing here. You do expose yourself, and while there's no enemy character that could have killed you at that moment, if they had positioned better, you probably would have taken damage there and potentially died. The Ashe got one headshot onto you, and you dropped to 40 health. So you have to kind of think about what is on the enemy team and what the biggest threats to you are. Should have res that soldier sorry, Farah, as soon as you saw it.
This is not your time.
Your team is just a little too split up right now. I think this is just an issue on communication and coordination. Unsure about that ultimate though. You're already down one person in a fight and you weren't able to, you didn't have res up. So it would have probably have been better just to hold off. And now we're just committing ultimates, so we have to either hope we win or we're gonna lose this. And with 2 ultimates out, you guys ended up losing it. So I will let you know that on this specific point of Dorado, Pharah isn't good. So if no one has suggested the Pharah to swap, that should be the call. There are ways to put it, you know, more lightly as to not cause other people to tilt or get mad. But if you had mentioned, hey, Pharah, I can't support you, I can't get to you, can you swap to a character that I can? Something like that. If they have a public profile, you can also say, hey Farah, I see you're really good on this character, can you swap to that one? And maybe we can push this out. But I had a feeling that this would have been lost, just based on their positioning and where you guys are at. Okay, so we've made the swap to Moira. One thing I'm going to do during this part of the video is I'm going to keep track of how many times you use your healing orb and how many times you use your damage orb. Because one thing I noticed with low level Moiras is that they utilize their damage orb too much, where they could be getting a lot more value for not only themselves and their ultimate, but for their team if they use more healing. So we'll keep track of how many orbs they use. Healing orb, great. First orb of the game. Damage orb. Nice, that was really good coordination. Yeah, make sure we also pepper in some healing. So, in cases where it's just one enemy team member on the other left alive, Moira should change to healing all her teammates, because there is a possibility if there's another character alive in such a tight space like that, especially since Sigma himself, Damage Orb, can pump out a lot of damage in a short time. You want to make sure that your team stays up so you don't lose anybody. Damage Orb.
Injured again.
Damage Orb. So I like that you're just peppering in healing Damage Orb. I like that because you're not wasting your resources too much and you're conserving a lot of that energy. Good job hiding. Fortunately, a lot of your people went down there. It's a 3v6 right now, 2v6. Good dodge. At this point, you might want to just back out, but that's okay. Dying's not bad when the entire team got wiped. When you take that one-on-one with the Genji, try to guide him away from the team because Genjis like to feed. That is not an opinion, that is just a straight-up fact. Most Genjis will like to chase a kill, and if you can guide him into a position away from his team, Damage Orb, you can have a better chance at killing him. Okay. When you use your ultimate as Moira, this is the one time that I will, in most cases, encourage throwing a damage orb first. So wait. Oh, by the way, that was another damage orb. So you want to hold your ultimate until your orb cooldown comes back, because if the enemy team is all grouped up, you can throw your damage orb. That's an additional 200 damage, plus the coalescence damage. Overall, it's just a lot. Another damage orb. However, I will say, if your team has multiple criticals, please throw a healing orb when you use your coalescence, and then you'll provide just incredible amounts of healing. It's almost as much burst healing as Zenyatta's Transcendence. Almost. Damage orb. You know, and as you get more comfortable with Moira and which 1v1s you can take, it's good to learn to throw your damage orb to confirm kills. So throwing them early into a fight like that, by the way, damage orb, is not great because even though you're peppering in some damage, the likelihood of you confirming a kill that early into a fight is very low. Another damage orb.
I'm restoring
Healing orb. So your fade was on cooldown there. Maybe you could have used that to dodge the Genji ultimate.
We must all make sacrifices. Surrender.
Ooh, that is a bad ultimate. So what you just did there for the Orisa, you could have done with one healing orb and your primary fire. That was a damage orb, by the way. And because you threw out that damage orb, look, you have to rely on your primary fire and your resources to provide healing to your team. Damage orb. And now we're luckily able to keep balance damage orb of our resource bar, but you'll see that you're starting to run low and you have no enemies to start feeding back that resource. Yeah, so we're like almost out. Another damage orb. Okay, so the enemy team now has a D.Va. I actually don't know when she came into the play. She might have been here the entire time. Okay, if you had waited 2 more seconds, you could have thrown a damage orb into that and confirmed a little bit, a few more kills sooner. Another damage orb. Now that they have a D.Va on their team, you have to be conscious of where you're throwing your orbs, because she can just simply right-click the orb and eat it, and you just lose all that value, and you have to wait another 9 seconds before your healing orb comes back online. Damage again, and see she eats it right there. So you just lost all value in that, and you have to wait some time. Be careful when you engage forward out of your Wraith form, because you should kind of only be using that Wraith form to escape. By backing yourself up with your team, you force the enemy team to take more ground against you, which allows you time to deal out damage. Yep, great job by your... Oh, Bastion switch, nice. Another damage orb. Fade, damage orb. Ooh, sliced. Wow, that Genji, nice quad kill. Great job by your D.Va stalling. I think your D.Va really is the MVP of this game. Another damage orb. You should be healing up your Orisa, nice. See, because you're not using your healing orb, look how low your healing resource is. Damage orb.
10 seconds. Their inevitable defeat is becoming reality.
Damage orb. Ooh, interesting. That probably hit you by accident. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You already used your orb and it wouldn't come down for a while. So So this is much better. Awesome. Okay, so a lot of things to work on, but they are improvable in many ways. So again, just some things to focus on moving forward. Make sure you're moving around all the time as Mercy. Make sure you're looking for high ground. And as Moira, make sure you're using a little bit more of the healing to balance out your resource usage. That's going to take care of it for today's video. If you like what you see, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe. I put out a new VOD review every Monday, and if you want to get your own VOD review, check the Discord link in the description for more details. My name is Scorch24, and we'll see you next time.